So this is my S8 at the moment, and it is pretty much cracked nicely. You can see there, it's gone all the way across, and it has a little, hang on, disco wave. I'm gonna increase the brightness. I really need to fix that. So they just recently announced the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. I'm a huge Samsung fan, so I thought I'd do a little, well, not a review or anything since I don't actually have the handset. So I'm just going to go through the specs. Yeah, not much different from the S8, which I have at the moment, but they seem to have focused a lot on the camera side of the phone. Some cool, actually interesting stuff. So I'll go through that now and go through the specs. So one of the main things they've added to the camera is a dual aperture. What Samsung have done, they've added two apertures, f1.5 and f2.4. When you're taking pictures in the dark, the lens opens to an f1.5 mode to pull in as much light as it can, and when you're taking photos during the day, the aperture will change to f2.4 so that the images come out more sharp. So that's a pretty cool thing they've added in. Don't think any other phone does this from what I know. Surely Apple don't do them in the latest iPhone X, which is obviously a phone they're clearly trying to rival with. So that's a cool little thing. I mean, I don't really know much about aperture, but since I bought this new camera to do my vlogging and everything, I have learned a little bit about it. And if you're into your photos, that's a nice little feature. So another little cool feature they've added is their super slow motion camera. You can now record up to 960 frames per second, which is a lot of frames, which means what you will produce a really slow motion video, hence the super slow motion camera. I'm on the Samsung website and it says it is approximately 0.2 seconds of recording, which is then stretched out into 6 seconds. The downside of this is that it's only 0.2 seconds. It can detect when the slow motion should be recorded, but it's only 0.2 seconds. A lot of people probably would want it to be much longer than that, so you're kind of limited to a really small fragment of time. They've also added a feature called AR emoji, which stands for augmented reality, which just basically seems like their own version of Animoji. I think that's what it's called, but it's what Apple introduced for their iPhone X, where you can literally record your face to do the motion on an emoji. So I'm just reading it from the website. It says, create an augmented reality version of yourself simply by taking a selfie. Then share your real life feelings as emoji stickers and videos. So it is a pretty cool idea, and it is probably something that a lot of Samsung users wanted to see in the next Samsung flagship phone since the iPhone X came out. This is a cool feature, I guess. Another thing Samsung have added in the S9, it's a pretty cool feature, one I've actually thought for some time that phones should be able to do this, which is live translation. It's a pretty cool feature, especially if you go abroad a lot. So there's stuff that you might read like on a menu or street signs, and you don't know what on earth it says. If you just hold up your camera, if you hold up the S9 against it, what it does is translates it to the language you want it to. So for instance, if I'm using it and I'm in, like, let's say China, and I hold it up against a Chinese sign, it'll translate it straight into English. So that's a cool little feature I think phones should have had some time ago, but it's nice that Samsung have decided to put it in. Also, intelligent scan, the camera that recognizes you instantly. So if you don't know already, Samsung and many other Android phones have had like iris scanners already implemented on the phone. So when the iPhone X came out, there was all hype about the face recognition thing, which is good, don't get me wrong, but stuff like that already existed a long time ago, and it looks like Samsung are trying to broadcast it more to audiences. So what they've done, intelligent scan is a new technology that combines face recognition and iris scan to make unlocking simple even in low light. So it's kind of like mix iris and facial recognition together, very similar to the face recognition that iPhone X have. So that's pretty much it. I know I didn't really go into it in much detail, but I feel like I don't really know much about tech, to be honest. I know a little bit here and there, but I just thought literally just sum up the best things that the new S9 has to offer. One thing I am not too keen about is the lack of colours available. I think like the 3 colours they have for the S9 is actually where is it now? Let me find it. So you got 3 colours it comes in. So you got the midnight black, the typical black colour, cool blue, and lilac purple. So yeah, 3 colours. Not too keen on the coral blue or the lilac purple. I feel like they should have had more options. When the phone is released, they should have had at least maybe a gold colour, something like that. Something like that seems more appealing. It's just my opinion. I feel like the colours aren't that amazing. I mean, I've had a black Samsung for about 4 years straight now, so kind of wish they did have a different colour. Coral blue and the lilac purple doesn't look ideal. Anything, something that I would go for. So yeah, lastly, the price, £739. So it is considerably quite lower than when the iPhone X came out. I think that retailed about £1,000. So it is much, it's actually quite a lot more cheaper than the iPhone X. Although obviously you have the S9 Plus, which is probably what you would compare against the S9 Plus at £869. So still about 130 odd pounds cheaper than when the iPhone X came out, but and it's newer and it probably has a lot more specs to it if you go into it, but won't go into it in this video. So yeah, is the Samsung S9 Plus something you're interested in? I know I'm still talking to like literally no viewers, but if you're an Apple or Android fan, let me know. And yeah, so that's it. Hope you liked the very short rough review, but yeah, so I've recorded all that video for my S9 review thing, and I just realised my head is like again at the bottom of the screen, so apologies.